I don't know why I'm the one that has to press the button at the back of the camera because I have the shorter arms.
I'm further away. Look, my poor hand. My poor hand.
Yeah, but look how long your arm is. It's like stretches to infinity.
And beyond.
Right, so.
We saw 17 Bridges. Actually, 17 Bridges was the name of the original script, according to Wikipedia, so I only assume the guy who wrote the script miscounted.
I don't know how many bridges go in and out of Manhattan because I spend as little time possible in Manhattan.
Once we spent like 4 hours trying to get into Manhattan on a bridge.
No, we were getting out of Manhattan. We were.
Oh yes.
It was actually 2 hours we spent on the bridge to Queens.
That was it.
Yeah, that was 2012, and I think they were doing construction on the bridge, but so we were in the car, and like, who was drunk?
Everyone.
No. Oh.
Lindsay was drunk. There was also.
No, she hadn't been drinking.
She was sitting in the back.
Yeah, because she was exhausted because she set the whole thing up.
Oh, okay.
I don't think.
A lot of people were drunk, and we
weren't drunk.
There were too many people in the car.
It was a small car because Lindsay drove a small car.
And I think I was one of the better ones off because I was in the front by myself because I had giant legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come to think of it, I don't think anyone was drunk at that point. Because I had a beer. You don't drink.
Not often.
I know Lindsay wasn't drinking because she was running the thing. I don't think Todd was drinking. Nash was driving. So.
But yeah, that's,
It took forever to get to Queens is the long and short of this at 2 in the morning. So I completely empathize.
Tiny car, us two, Nash, Todd, Lindsay.
Jacob.
Yes. There was at least one other person.
No, that was it. It was just a very small car.
Okay. But anyway.
Smart cars. But anyway, so the reason that we bring up being stuck for 2 hours on a bridge to Queens is because this movie's set in Manhattan.
And, the bridges are important, apparently. Basically, these two idiots go off and are like, oh, we're criminals.
Well, look, we have to phrase this. This is a cop action thriller. So load up the preset of tropes that come with cop action thriller. They'll be important later.
Yes. So these two criminals are like, oh no, we got a hit of a big score down here. We're gonna go down there, and oh no, there's a lot more coke than we were expecting. Oh,
we're gonna steal cocaine.
Cops have arrived. There's intrigue. All the cops end up dead, and then more cops arrive, and they end up dead. It's like a big chase, and everyone's trying to hunt down these two guys. And then Chadwick Boseman's like, I'm gonna close the fucking bridges, for Manhattan for the next 5 hours.
And he gives a very the speech from the Fugitive.
Yeah.
There are 21 bridges in and out of Manhattan. Shut them down. 3 rivers. Close them. Tunnels. Block them. Loop the subway.
Yeah, and then he...
interspersed with, clips of this happening.
And then we're going to flood the streets with blue. But he sounds like Blow, so he sounds like he's going to, try and get them with cocaine. As in, throw cocaine in the ground, and then the criminals will be just so enthralled, they'll come around and go, oh, cocaine! And then they'll be caught.
Oh, you shouldn't have. Keith David was in this for not enough time.
Yes.
He had 3 lines and he went away.
He's like, I'm the leader of the cops in New York and I'm very, very, reasonable.
I am now, sir, not appearing in the rest of this picture.
Yes.
So yeah, they had Alexander Siddig as well.
That's
literally. We were so excited to see him, and he had 5 minutes.
That is literally the only reason I went to see the film. Luckily, I have the year-long pass.
Dressed very nicely.
So luckily, I have the year-long pass for the cinema. So I was like, I'm not paying for this. I saw Alexander Siddig for free, so that's good. But I gotta say, Alexander Siddig, since Doctor Who came back, since before Doctor Who came back, I've wanted to see him play the Doctor. And I had this very particular type of Doctor in mind, where it was going to be very, very sort of calm, icy, pertwee but not as cuddly, that sort of one.
Nobody likes that, only you.
And Siddig in this did it perfectly, and I'm just like, yep, that's the way I want him to play the Doctor.
In the 5 whole lines he got in the thing. But yeah, so this was a good movie. It was very entertaining. I was entertained, but it's not like high cinema. I'm not gonna get it on DVD. It's the kind of thing you'd watch on a plane. Or actually, you know what? You keep talking. Let me check if it actually was based on a book.
I believe it wasn't. I gotta say, neither of us are big into crime movies.
I'm big into true crime documentaries.
Neither of us are into cop movies, so we're not really the best ones to judge about how good this is in that genre. But neither of us would buy this on DVD. But then again, I bought all the Paul Matthews films on DVD, so possibly that's not the best metric to judge quality is by whether I would buy it on DVD.
Yeah, according to Wikipedia, I'm not seeing that this was based on any kind of book. But if it had been, I'll tell you what, it would be the kind that you would buy in an airport, You know, because it would have a smoking gun and a badge, a police badge, and blood on the cover.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, I know exactly what I'm getting with this. And you would have gotten exactly that.
Like, whenever you're talking about movies I'd buy on DVD, I own a copy of Cockhammer on DVD. You know, evil is uncircumcised. So, don't listen to me about whether you should buy something on DVD.
But yeah, so if you go into this knowing this is going to be a cop action thriller, you will expect everything that you get, and you'll be happy. So it's like ordering the sweet and sour chicken from your favorite Chinese. You know exactly what you're getting, and you're ordering it because that's what you want. You'll eat it.
And this is a bit sweet and a bit sour.
Uh-huh.
It was sweet when Alexander Siddig turned up. It was sour when he died very soon afterwards.
Spoilers. He gets
Well,
shot.
he's hardly going to turn up and be like, well, I've got another role to do. I'm doing some theatre.
Yeah, probably. But, so Chadwick Boseman is very good in this, very good. It's so nice seeing him able to act. Like, alright, Gods of Egypt was really bad, but he was the bright part of Gods of Egypt because they let him act. Like, him as T'Challa, he always looks like he's, like, in the film under duress. Like, I am in the film, but I'm not going to act. You're going to have to make me act.
Monologue into the camera.
I'm not acting at all. Fuck you. But no, like, it's really great when he's, like, allowed to act.
He's like, I have emotions too, guys.
Not to say that he wasn't acting as T'Challa, but T'Challa is very specific. The very specific kind of unemotive kind of
He's
person.
very stoic.
Yes. So, like, when you saw him, like, leaping about as the god Thoth in Gods of Egypt,
Big
you're like...
camp as fuck.
You're like, thank Christ. In this one, yeah, he chooses the scenery. He does all of the, you know, all the cop stuff. Like, 10-4, I'm at it, but no one else take him, he's mine.
He's
you know,
doing
like,
his best Denzel Washington.
Yes. I actually leaned over and I said, if this film was made 20 years ago, this role would go to Denzel Washington.
Probably, yeah. And if it was made 30 years ago, it would have gone to Keith David.
Yeah.
And in fact, for a little while, let's come up with some fantasy casting for how this would have gone several years ago. In a 20 years ago version...
But I don't know a lot of actors.
Well, I'll make a couple suggestions then.
I'll put words in your mouth.
20 years ago version, quoting the spoilers, the crooked cop boss guy, you know...
Because is that really a spoiler? You knew there had to be.
Would have been played by Colin Meaney.
No.
Colin Meaney, who was the dickhead DA agent in Con Air. We're talking 20 years ago, you're late 90s. So
but he's so, like, jubbable.
That is
affable.
peak...
Jubbly.
That is peak Colin Meaney with a bad American accent playing dickheads in movies.
Oh, I thought you meant because of the whole Irish cop stereotype.
Well, here's the thing. In the 90s, there was a renaissance of the Colin Meaney-sance, where he was just with bad American accents, turning up and stuff. And it was like, this makes no sense, but it is fun. And in the 30 years ago version, the Alexander Siddig's character, who's just like a dick, would have been played by William Atherton, aka Peck from Ghostbusters. You know, this is talking about like a late 80s version. So, and you know, directed by John Carpenter, and Kurt Russell would have played the crooked cop.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
I want to see these ones, you know?
We're talking about everything, but I mean, it was good. There was a lot of shooting, a lot of people being shot, a lot of running around New York. And something interesting I've noticed, and see, I'm going to have to ask Filmbrain because this is the kind of thing that he would know, or maybe like someone who made like Ashens might know, or maybe if anyone in the comments, please comment if
I
you
could
know.
text Ashens.
Do not bother Ashens
I
on
could
a
text
Sunday night.
Filmbrain.
No, I'll just.
I like how you say do not bother Ashens on a Sunday night, but I can bother Filmbrain on a Sunday night.
Well, Filmbrain's probably awake.
It's true.
Probably editing something. But anyway, so you completely derailed me.
Sorry.
What I was going to say. Oh yeah, so we noticed that all of the vehicles. Now this is set in at least 2018 because you can see some like there's a part where you can see a file directory and when these files were last accessed, and some of them are 2018. So it's at least 2018. But in the state of New York, you have license plate on the front and the back. But for, I want to say, over 10 years now, New York State has used the blue and white license plates. But every single vehicle had the old blue and yellow license plates. And I wondered if this is meant to be set before the change, and just the file directory was you know, just a prop mishap, or if that's some kind of New York State law that if you're filming in the state, you have to use not unrealistic, not unregistered, invalid license plates, just in case.
That's a possibility.
So if anyone knows anything about film, and this is a thing, let us know.
Another possibility is the company may well want to keep track of their own cars, or keep or make it clear what ones are theirs, just with these license plates. Another possibility is that filmmakers may well have wanted to evoke older films by using the old license plates that you would have seen in old 90s sort of things.
Yeah, but that's a really weird thing to make when everyone's running around with, LG and Galaxy S9 notes and stuff like that.
But since it's set now, that
it's a really weird stylistic choice. Then that's the only stylistic choice.
There's a lot of the way the film. Basically, it's an old style of cop film done in the modern day.
Yeah.
So
because there's CCTV, there's facial recognition. Yeah. There's plot point hinges on not stopping for a red light and getting caught in the red light camera. So it's interesting. I'd be interested to know.
You goddamn idiot, Taylor Kirsch! You played Gambit in X-Men Origins Wolverine. You know what you did. Apart from killing a bunch of cops in this.
He was the
white idiot.
Oh, okay, right. I mean, don't get me wrong, he wasn't just the white idiot, he did have some background. There's a part where he, nearly shoots Alexander Siddig in the head, and then he's, shaking, and there's a coin that he'd been flipping, and he takes out, and you see it's 11-year sobriety coin from AA, and then he's just, pour me a scotch. So, there's obvious, they were trying to give the character depth.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a sobriety coin.
I did not know.
That's why it was important.
I honestly assumed that was some sort of token Alexander Siddig had given to represent how much money he's owed at the other...
No, that was the coin that he'd been flipping when he was waiting for the other guy to come in the big car. See.
I don't...
Well, AA isn't a really big thing in the UK, is it?
Plus, I have no context for it, because I grew up... I don't drink very often. I grew up in a high household, so we didn't normally drink...
I've known people who've gotten sober and gotten coins.
I have never known anyone who's been in AA.
Well, I guess I taught you something.
You did.
But yeah, so, I mean, there's not a lot to nitpick, but then there's not a lot to, run around praising. The plot points, the twists were pretty obvious, right away,
The main issue...
you knew the cops were dirty, as, from 5 minutes before they died, so you're okay, I see how this is going to go down.
You could tell that it was, not surface. There was something happening below the surface. But the ending of the film, I am unconvinced that it will go the way the film thinks it goes. Because...
Well, see, the thing is that I have a belief, alright, so basically, the cleaner, says to the bad guy, alright, take these flash drives, they're important. They can, basically saying, look, they can be a bargaining chip. And so he ends up in a position to look at them on a laptop, and he sees, oh, okay, this is not only all the files for everyone this cleaner has ever worked with, so all the mob, criminals big and small, cartels, but also all the dirty cops.
Yeah.
So he tells, Chadwick Boseman's character about it, and he's yeah, right, tell me another one. A guy gets shot by another cop, and then as he's dying, passes off the flash drives. Chadwick Boseman, who you find out, right at the end that he's made copies, and he confronts the head of the dirty cops at his house. And so we're assuming from context that means that he copied them, gave them to internal affairs, and gave them to his boss before he went to, confront and potentially kill a dirty cop. But it's never made explicitly clear that that's what happens.
And that even that has its own problems, because that means he handed off to another one, without knowing whether the information would get back to the dirty cops.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he goes into this house, goes into a superior officer's place, and has a conversation. Then suddenly, 10 other cops burst in.
No, there were only 4. There were two teams of 2.
Okay.
Yeah, because remember the cop boss was on the phone with them.
I remember all that. It's just in context.
Yeah, I know, but they haven't seen that.
It is rather funny because it's as though he keeps them in a cupboard. And they
quickly, dirty cops.
And they attack him. It's a bit like, you're a video game, you're attacking the boss and suddenly the minions come out.
Remember, in the, I think it was in season 1, Hagen oh no, he rang the minions.
Yes. Minions. So he kills all them, and then...
there's a shootout with J.K. Simmons.
And then there's another dirty cop comes out, after all the main dirty cops are dead, and then that one gets taken alive. And...
Well, he convinces her to stand down.
Yeah, so...
Spoilers.
I'm just thinking, you got this black cop who has just been through like a night of like, action and stuff, and a bunch of people getting killed, who quite possibly has PTSD, has gone to a house, killed a superior officer.
Oh yeah, because the beginning of the film is he's 13 and his father's been shot. His father was a cop.
A kid who's got a history of like, traumatic stuff involving cop death, kills a superior officer, kills a bunch of other cops.
4 other cops.
And then you've got this other cop who is, I believe, either a similar rank as him or possibly slightly higher.
She's from narcotics, so it's never really made clear. So
who...
And then he convinces her to stand down, puts her in cuffs and takes her out. But like
the only evidence he has, apart from the fact he's got a pile of dead bodies and his word, is that he's got this flash drive with some files on it. These files, without extra information and context, is meaningless. So there's ways to work this out, to work out why this works, but it's not in the film.
Yeah, so like it basically looks like I thought at the end he was going to leave his badge and his gun there and then go rogue. Because he just killed a shit ton of people. But then I guess what the film is expecting, like even if they had Keith David's character there at the end getting out of one of the cars, like 15 police SUVs roll up in this suburb.
Yeah, Keith David turns up.
Just saying like, oh, you were right. Imply that he was wearing a wire. Don't worry, we got all of that on tape.
Yeah, even if he recorded it, or on his phone or something, with the conversation with the cop, with the dirty cop. Or if Keith David was like, the information on that flash drive lines up perfectly with what we found in the computer at the thing's house. We've got all the evidence we need. Good work. Something like that.
Because he just comes out and he's showing his badge, so they don't shoot at him, and then hands her off to them, and then the last scene is like him driving home on the bridge, and I'm like, but America's so racist, he's gonna get done for it.
Yeah, he's like this, this one black cop versus a pile of dead white police officers.
No, one was black. One was that the big fat guy.
Okay.
Who was
at least 4 dead white police officers, one of a superior rank, one black police officer, and you get a white woman's sort of word who could lie against him. I don't think this is going to go the way that the film thinks.
Yeah, I really think that it was kind of a sloppy ending. Like, if they just had a few contextual or script cues in there to be like, oh, okay, he's not just shooting people.
Yeah.
In all fairness, they did shoot at him first. There is that, but...
It's not...
How do you prove... I don't know. I guess maybe that this was conceived by scriptwriters who don't pay attention to how... Because here's the thing...
This is another example of being a throwback to older filmmaker.
When the cops were heroes.
Or when the cops... When we had not had years of media and social media revealing just how bad cops can be. So I'm pretty sure that if there's not extra stuff, Chadwick Boseman's character is going to jail for possibly longer than the woman.
Alright. Well, New York doesn't have the death penalty anymore, so yeah. Another thing that I really need to know, because there's these 2 asshole FBI agents who are just kind of there, and I if anyone is in law enforcement or has a friend or family member in law enforcement, I've got to know, because I've seen this trope in the X-Files, I see it in every police procedural, but I watch a lot of true crime documentaries. That's my Netflix's cookery film, cookery shows and murder. But do the FBI really, really, really always have an adversarial relationship with the local police? Because all of the forensic crime shows that I see, they'll be the local chief of police or the sheriff or whatever, and it'll be like, well, so then we handed off the prints and stuff like that to so-and-so at the FBI down in the local such and such, and they were able to bring that back with some DNA. Is that a real thing, or is that just an invented trope? Because
I imagine it happens sometimes, but generally it's a way to get cheap drama into a film.
Because the FBI agents are always dicks, and they're always unprofessional. And the police are always immediately defensive
always
and
running off
adversarial.
and chasing aliens.
No, that's just the one time. But it's just, there's got to be otherwise nobody would catch serial killers. There's got to be decent FBI agents and police willing to work with them. But yeah, and it was one of the production companies was a Chinese production company. So I leaned over and I said, I wonder what part of Manhattan will be played by a district in Beijing.
And the director was from Armagh.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so it was Northern Irish guys being like, oh, Chadwick, we need you to go over there, and, shoot that guy, it'll be awesome.
Saying to Keith, all right, wind your neck in.
Keith, you're looking a bit tired for, can you handle a 12th take, can you hack the sash?
But, there's not much else to say other than that you liked the trailer. and you like, I mean,
How
we
good
spoiled
was
the
it?
whole thing now, but
What did you think of that funeral scene? I thought the Wayne did quite well.
so we did. The director's probably gonna see this somehow, and then like come find you and like knock on your door.
Okay, he's from Armagh. They got a planetarium. What are they going to do to us? We don't have a planetarium. We're far too busy jumping into the foil.
He could get the bus to Castle Dawson and then get the 212 to Derry. You mind yourself.
Derry's local sport is suicide. What fear do we have from Armagh?
Don't say that. That's very unsensitive to say.
It is very unsensitive to say. It's also horrifically accurate.
It is horrifically accurate, but please do not make light of that. Seriously, foil search and rescue, they pull so many people out of the foil or off the bridge. They're miracle workers. They've saved thousands of people's lives, over the time that they've... So, you have some money and like to donate, foil search and rescue. I really would advocate for that. Yeah. I'm a mental health professional.
They do very, very good work.
So don't make light of suicide.
I knew someone growing up who volunteered with them.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, apparently they can scramble within a matter of minutes. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, there's not that much more to say. I mean, the people who are
okay, then let me amend that. I would beat him to death with, or beat him to distraction with a chicken box special.
That is Derry. Do you know? I mean, this has nothing to do with the thing, but it does have something to do with Derry. So I follow one of the humor pages, and so Caitlyn Jenner's been on this celebrity reality TV show called "Help I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here," which is basically like Survivor, but they make celebrities eat bugs. It's fantastic. I don't watch it, but I hear it's really great. And so there's a singer, Nadine Coyle, is it?
Nadine Coyle, yeah,
who's from Derry, and she's on it as well. And apparently, she and Caitlyn Jenner have become friends. And so there was a post on this page where you can find like, oh, it's going to be transphobic, and it actually wasn't. What it said was, hi, it looks like Caitlyn Jenner will be setting up a place in Derry. And then it was, like, going on and, like, listing all these, like, Derry tropes, like, oh, you'll see her at 1 a.m. outside of Fitzroy's looking to get that chicken box special. Or becoming obsessed with 1 pound knickers at Primark and, like, all this, like, really, like, Derry stuff. And I'd be like, all right, chicken box special.
You should explain what a chicken box special is.
I don't even know. I've never even had one. My friend Johnny, like... Okay, so you know The Sims? You know how in The Sims, like, what they want appears in a little, like, thought bubble above their head? When we all have a night out, there's a point in the night out, if you look over at Johnny, like, his little thought bubble will just be chicken box special. And there's another friend of mine, Lorene, that if you look over at hers, her thought bubble will just be her cat, because eventually she'll be like, oh, I'm tired, I'll go home and pet the cat. And that's not a euphemism, her cat's a real sweetie. See, there's not much to say about this movie, it's just, what you see is what you get, what you think it is exactly it. If that's for you...
Yeah. That's fine.
It was free, so I mean,
I've got to say, the guy who directed it, he's made a far better leap from TV to movie, via Game of Thrones than Alan Taylor did.
Who's Alan Taylor?
He did Thor 2, which I enjoyed more than most people, and he did Terminator Genesis, and so he's not had a very good leap, even though he did some very good episodes of Game of Thrones.
Okay.
This guy, he's made a much better leap. So it's like. Good work. I hope he makes more films. Any time you can have a Northern Irish director, possibly being interviewed about, some sort of a big film. This Northern Irish accents are just funny when they appear.
It's the truth. It really
when they appear in the real world.
What are you like, David Attenborough now? Like,
no, it says
Northern Ireland in the real world.
Northern Ireland is like this little part that's disconnected from the real world. Whenever you see the actual world out there, and Northern Irish people are in there. That's funny. It's like that's why Liam Neeson is funny as an action hero, because he's just this guy from Ballymena.
This is true. We were in Scotland a few months ago, and our TV. We don't have a TV license because our TV doesn't get TV. It just goes through the PlayStation. So whenever we're somewhere else in the UK, I want to watch British television because I don't get to. And we were watching. It was some reality show about this. I think she's like a plastic surgeon. No, she was a dermatologist, and people would come with their weird skin afflictions, and she'd help them out. And it was halfway through the thing, and I was like. She sounds like she's from Belfast. She's got a Northern Irish accent. And you looked at me like, how did you not realize? And I realized the fact that living over here, and it's been like about 5.5 years now, now when I hear an American accent in a show, and I'm not expecting, like, oh, that's weird, if I hear an American accent in the town, because I've become normalized to a Northern Irish accent and to UK accents.
Yeah.
So, I just didn't notice it. Whoa, a woman, she's from Belfast.
And just imagine one day we might have a Northern Irish person directing an MCU film, and that would be really funny.
That would be fantastic.
Or a Northern Irish character in an MCU
film. A Northern
film.
Irish Avenger. Oh, that'd be great.
Maybe Banshee or Siren will turn up, actually played by people who are Irish.
I just want to see, like, you know, somebody with, like, a pure dairy accent, like,
Yeah.
no, Holt, no.
Yeah, that would be great.
Oh, sorry. But yeah, so 21 Bridges.
It was fine.
Set your bridges of light. That was alright, man.
Yeah. And this vlog's going up a couple of days later than we recorded it.
You're under punishment.
Because I'm not allowed to upload to YouTube for a week. But we got this, and either it's already up or maybe it'll go up right afterwards. We have another vlog. And next week we're seeing Knives Out.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for it yonks and yonks ago, and I really want to see it, and everyone's been talking about it on Twitter. I think it's coming out in the States, like, in a few days, but we're getting it next Thursday, so...
No, we're getting it in, like, a couple of days. Well,
like,
in, like, 4 days.
Yes, next Thursday's the 29th.
Okay. So we can run the same time as America.
Actually, no, I'm sorry, Friday's the 20th, the 28th is Thursday, because it's...
It's on Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Aye. So that's us. Do I have to stand up and press the button?
One of us has to.
Oh, for fuck's sake.